Hi, I'm Bruce, and welcome to my Colorado Rocky Mountain lab. And what we are looking at here is a little project. Um, I took a PM328 4.5 digit LCD panel meter. It reads 200 millivolts full scale in its native shape. But it's possible to arrange a series of dividers so that you can get different ranges of voltage on here. So I've installed about a half dozen resistors in here, one of which is actually 5 or so resistors in one. And they act as the divider. And then I have a switch that we can adjust the range. Here we can see the wiring that was used inside of the modifications to the PM328 panel meter in order to make the various ranges for our 4.5 digit meter. The Caddock 1776-23 is a 0.1% precision multiple tap resistor, and then I used a number of 0.01% resistors down on the bottom here that I had on hand. And this shows you the two decks, actually two halves of the same deck that rotated, and how they're wired to bring in the A and B wires of the panel meter input. And then we have the decimal point placement. So, and then for the front panel terminals, we have bring in our input. And basically that's it. I mean, we provide power to the panel meter with a wall wart or a battery. We have a battery in it as well. So here's a good example of the template made on the scanner and then traced. I don't know, I have a couple of products. You can do it in PowerPoint. Okay, I did it in Paint Shop Pro. I was able to put a border around it and save it as a JPEG and then work with it, adding stuff from within PowerPoint, I believe. And I move the frame around for the meter itself and figured out where I wanted to put it, the placement of all of the items. And then when I got done, I cut it out and I taped it right to the front panel. And I used a punch and punched out the center holes and made a little punch mark in the corner of the meter for the cutout. And then drilled those holes out and then used a little jigsaw to jigsaw out the internal rectangle. And that was it. Then also I was able to make a clear vinyl adhesive back sticker on my laser printer where I printed all of the text and everything that was on this sheet. Printed it right on the sticker, and then I stuck the label right over top of everything and cut out the holes using a little razor cutter. And then I spray lacquer to finish over the top of it just to protect the print. So it worked out pretty decently. There's some bubbles under that surface, which I wish I didn't get, but came out pretty nice. Okay, I've opened up the meter and giving you a look at the inside of it here so you can see what kind of difficulties you might run into. But planning the placement helped out a whole lot. Here's the range switch. I've got two decks, as you can see. The top deck is split in half for the A and B divider that goes to the board, actually, from the resistors. Here's the various resistors. My Caddock unit, which is 5 resistors in one, and then number of resistors that have been hand selected. This is a 0.01%. I've got this is 0.01 in the middle, and then I've got a couple that were hand selected that wound up to be 0.01. So anyway, mounting the battery in there, and the board, wiring the whole thing up. That's basically it. So you can see it's not an impossible task. Be careful, and I'll put it back together. So I'm giving you a look at it. Right now I'm reading about 190 millivolts. That's coming from that Fluke 343 DC calibrator, the white one there. And if we take a look at this recently calibrated Hewlett-Packard 34401A, we see we got 190 millivolts. So we're kind of bouncing between 189.99 and 190, but I'm quite happy with that. Now if we change the range, we're on 2 volt range, we drop down to 0.19 as expected. 20 volts we should go down to 0.019, or 0.19, excuse me. We have 0.189 here. And it flashed a little bit. 0.018 on the 200 volt range. Now if we kick ourselves up, this would be 11.9. So, and we are reading 11.9, and we get 11.9. This is on the 200 volt range. If I go to the 20 volt range, we've got 11.905 and 11.9001. So the divider is off slightly, but that's not bad. This is in the this would be in millivolts, so we're off maybe 5 millivolts, 6. It's working. The unit is got its own rubber feet. It's battery operated. Some hardware mounting it there. That's for the hardware, holds the battery clamp in, and then also holds the range resistors in place. But basically it's pretty small, and it works very nicely. It's giving a really good reading. See, that's 1.19. We got 1.19 here and 1.19 there on the 2 volt range. Very good. And if we go 0.19 and go back down to the 200 millivolt range, we've got 189, well, bouncing between 189.99 and 190. So, and 190 is right. So the thing is right on the money. All right.